from Willis and Jurasek, CPAs and Consultants, CPA, Rick Schefferly. Hi, Rick.
Good morning or afternoon, Bart.
Good
How
afternoon.
are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing?
Doing fine. It's another tax season, another year, another challenge.
Yeah, so I think I've told you before, my sister is a CPA, my dad was a CPA, and this is the time of year you just don't schedule any event. You're too busy.
Yeah. No, I started my day at about 5:30 this morning, so it's fun. It's a sport, in a way, a marathon. It's how you have to approach it. If you don't approach it that way, it's going to get you. So you just kind of one day at a time, and you work through the process, and you help a lot of people out during tax season. So it is a fun season, really.
Yeah, and there is a finish line.
There is a finish line. We hope they don't extend it this year like they have in the last couple of years for us. It makes it a little bit more challenging when they keep moving the goalposts, but everything indicated this year it's going to be April 15th, so we don't really have anything to worry about. So, yes.
Are things, I guess, return to normal as I guess as normal could be?
Yeah, I think so. For the most part, most clients are working in site right now, and we're not having any issues from that perspective. And everybody seems to be healthy. Around when we're hitting clients' offices and stuff, so they're getting back into the routine of pulling all their information together, and then we're of course pushing. You kind of got to control the ability for them to get it in the office. If we waited for them, we'd have everything coming in probably on April 1, and we'd have a really hectic 2 weeks. So if we start pushing right away in January to encourage our clients to bring their data into us so that we can get started on it.
Yes, Ryan just sent me a note yesterday, working on a Sunday. Thanks, Ryan Partial. But yeah, it's 7 days a week you're at it. It
is, and some of it you're trying to backfeed. So you have things in the office right now, but in the next 2 weeks you need to have additional work in there. The individuals that are out there that we need to gather work from, and so you start being proactive and taking some time to call and generate some more work in the office, just to kind of keep it all flowing. Yeah. So.
Well, today I want to talk about, and I know you want to talk about this issue with small business and the use of credit cards. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of credit card companies that say, charge everything. We'll give you bonuses, we'll give you points, we're going to itemize all your things and give you printouts. It sounds magical. Is it a good idea?
I think it's a great idea as long as they have some other understandings that go with it. Credit cards offer an opportunity to separate their personal expenses from their business expenses, which I think is great, because a lot of times at year end we're trying to figure out what's personal and what's business. I think the other thing it does is it provides some startup businesses and some other small businesses a line of credit in a way that's a lot easier to get than a line of credit. It gives them the ability, like you say, to get air miles and different perks from that perspective. So I think credit cards are a great tool for a lot of business owners. Employees can have them. That gives them the opportunity to pay for things when they're out and about. You can get a smart credit card that restricts their purchases and only allows them to buy maybe gas or maybe shop at certain vendors, so you can control their spending from that perspective. And there are some downsides with them.
So a credit card, like a mobile card, mm-hmm. You're pretty limited with what you can buy with it. But Amex, you can go anywhere and spend any amount. Yeah,
some of your other credit cards that aren't mobile cards, you can still, if they're for specific employees, you can define what you want them to spend and allow them certain things. So it'll narrow it down what they're allowed to charge on those cards, not to mention limits. So you get some control from that perspective too.
So the receipts issue, everyone stores receipts, makes a cash purchase, buys some rope for the business, and it goes in a box. Yeah. That's with a credit card, you think, oh, well, Capital One or MasterCard, they're keeping track of all of and they're going to categorize them for me and itemize. I don't have to worry about it. But that's not true, is it?
No, that's really not true. We've had a couple instances in the last few years where we've seen some different outcomes from credit cards. A lot of people think that the credit card statement itself is enough of a receipt. And one of the arguments that I like to point out to them is if they went to Walmart and spent $500 on something that was business related, but if they were to be audited by the IRS really wouldn't know if they bought groceries for Thanksgiving dinner or if they bought, clothing, or if it was a true business expense. So you really need that receipt to substantiate that. And the problem with audits are they go back 3 to 4 years, and to me, a lot of us have a hard time pulling receipts that we maybe accumulated last week, let alone 3 years ago. Yeah. So, it's really good procedures either to use an app. I know QuickBooks online, or QuickBooks desktop has the ability for you to take pictures and pull them in. There's some other software applications out there that will allow you to do that. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and save all your receipts and staple them to the actual credit card statement every month.
And really, they don't get turned in, they don't get filed, they're just there in case.
They're there in case. And I guess 2 examples that we've seen on different parameters. We have an individual that works for one of our clients over in the Detroit market that is being audited right now, and the IRS agent's throwing out all of her deductions that she cannot support with a receipt. So that's an extreme case.
Wow.
But it's going to be a very large deal for them to deal with. And the other thing that we've seen is the state of Michigan will do audits from a sales tax perspective. And when they're doing those sales tax audits, if you don't have the receipt, you have a hard time substantiating whether you paid the sales tax in when you purchased that item or not. So they're going to assume maybe that you didn't, and then you have to write another 6% check to the state, potentially. So those are good reasons why you really want to save those receipts to protect yourself, just in case you were ever to get audited.
Yeah, I know in some of the marketing, credit card companies will show a business owner saying, "Oh, I made $50,000 just charging all my business expenses to my credit card, and now we have $50,000 we can use in our business." I suppose it's possible, but is that a good idea?
Well, credit cards usually have a little bit higher interest rate than a normal line of credit. So, you can certainly accumulate $50,000 in charges on that credit card. We always try to encourage the clients to pay that off monthly from a perspective, because then you avoid the charges and get all the perks with it. So it's just something they have to be disciplined in. I mean, a line of credit can be just as dangerous.
So we had someone call in a credit card, and they normally use a check to pay their bill, and they were using their Hilton Honors credit card because they get points. So are there, and we don't care, it's, it doesn't, but for a business person to do that, are there any, I guess, pitfalls or dangers?
I took a call from a client recently that he's really close to getting, it would be a Delta Airlines card, I don't know if it's his Platinum card, and so he's looking at charging things. Well, more and more we're seeing businesses that charge you a fee back on that. So it's not, so you're paying that 3% fee. So his discussion point was it worthwhile for him to pay that 3% fee just to get enough benefit, because he does fly a lot and get the perks that come with that. I think it was a Platinum card, but yeah. So I still think you have to evaluate it.
So it depends.
Yeah.
And the tools you mentioned, QuickBooks, there's other ways to...
Yeah, there's a product called Zoho that you can purchase, and it will do that as well. I think there's a fair amount of different apps out there, and we do have an individual in the office that is a great resource tool when it comes to that. So if somebody needed some assistance with that, we could certainly put them in touch with the right person in the office to help them with that process.
Generally, do you like those apps, Rick, like Mint and Money and Acorns and all those?
It depends. I'm getting older, Bart, so sometimes the apps and stuff I'm not as in love with. I do it the old-fashioned way. I save them all in my wallet and turn them in a monthly basis. But we have a lot of variation in our clients' ages, and some of them love the apps, and it works great for them. So I think it's going to be by a person-by-person decision what they want to do. Bottom line is you really want to accumulate those and save them, even though it's a pain.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate all the expertise. Thanks for coming in today.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You have a good afternoon.
Yes, Willis and Jurasek, CPA, Rick Schefferly with this month's Tax Talk. Stick around.